it is. Horace, just what is Aid and Attendance pension benefit, and why is it so much in the news today?
Aid and Attendance benefit is a veteran's benefit which is paid to veterans age 65 and older who need significant aid or attendance. It's tax-free, it's funded by the VA, it's available. Anybody should apply that qualifies.
Well, if that's the case, why have so many veterans not taken advantage of this benefit?
The reason is it's not advertised by the VA. There are a lot of people trying to take advantage of veterans by charging them a tremendous amount of money to apply for this benefit. It's simply not well known, which is too bad. Only 80% of the available veterans do not apply. Just they don't know about it. There's not enough there's not enough information out there.
And I think you told me before we started that the VA is often underfunded and understaffed.
That's true. People can be employed by the VA or by a veteran service organization. Many employed by the veteran service organizations, there's an assumption they're trained by the VA, and they're not. They, for the most part, deal with returning veterans who have lost limbs, who have brain damage, PTSD. They're not dealing with the veteran of World War II or widows of veterans or Vietnam veterans. They're just lost and going through the cracks.
Well, how does a veteran qualify for the Aid and Attendance pension benefit?
Firstly, there's a need, there's a financial need for care. Secondly, we have to look at the total assets. If a veteran has plenty of assets, there's no need for help. If his assets are going to run out in a year or two or possibly 3 years, there's a need for assistance. We have to look at income. If income limits are less than the need, if assets are less, generally the figure is about $80,000 a year. That's a qualification. And lastly, they have to qualify medically. They have to need some assistance.
Well, how do you recommend a veteran or his family member negotiate this quagmire?
Let me explain. There are two routes. One is to go to a veteran service organization. You cannot go directly to the VA. A VSO officer may or may not be trained. Good likelihood they're not. The second option is to go to a VA accredited agent or a VA accredited attorney. VA accredited attorneys, in my opinion, overcharge. They start at $3,000 and they go up to $3,000, $4,000, $6,000 a month often. A claims agent generally files for possibly, we're talking about hundreds of dollars, not thousands of dollars. They are accredited. They have just as good experience as attorneys, and I recommend somebody deal with an accredited claims agent and a financial planner who's familiar not only with VA benefits but Medicaid, since they're intertwined, and one may disqualify from the other.
Well, even listening to you, it still gets me confused. What is the form that they submit? And how hard is that to do?
If there's a one-page form an applicant can apply online, he'll be given an informal filing date and then be given a 15 to 20-page form to complete without directions. The VA organization normally doesn't tell them how to qualify. They look at the figures. They say qualified or not qualified. There's no assistance in qualifying. So one has to know what the qualifications are and what the VA looks at in order to prepare a client to qualify. And I might say that it's illegal for anyone to charge a veteran to fill out the form and apply. But what planners do is they assist in pre-planning in order they will qualify once the form is then sent in.
Well, once the VA accreditation has been obtained, are there other professional qualifications that you would recommend the veteran consider?
If there are significant assets, the VA benefit has to be paired with the potential to qualify for Medicaid benefits, which is a greater benefit than the VA benefit. I'd recommend that one normally deal with an estate planning attorney or an attorney that can deal with the wills, trust, other instruments. There's not a one size fits all, but you don't want to get stuck with somebody that's going to take every penny you got to do very little work for you.
Huh. Very interesting. Do you see any legislative action on the near horizon that could affect VA benefit planning, especially here in North Carolina?
Well, not in North Carolina, since it's a federal benefit, but there was recent legislation to penalize a veteran who gifted within a 3-year time period in order to qualify for VA benefits. That didn't pass the Senate. It will be brought up again, so it's important to start ahead of time if possible, whereas there'll be a 3-year look-back period possibly in the future. Right now, there's no look-back period for gifting.
Well, being a veteran myself, how could I go about selecting an accredited attorney or non-attorney for VA pre-planning needs?
You can go online. The VA lists accredited agents and accredited attorneys. You're on your own to select one. I recommend you ask around. If they're accredited, ask how many claims they have filed, how many were successful, and what they charged. And it's like finding an attorney or a CPA. You have to ask and speak with that person and feel comfortable with them.
Well, Horace, that's great information, and I really appreciate your time. Is there any last thoughts you'd like to pass on to all these veterans?
I'd say it's a tax-free benefit. You earn the benefit, and you should apply for it. Doesn't matter what you're worth. You deserve the benefit. That's all I would say. There's some people that say you don't deserve it if you have too much money. I think anybody that served their country deserves this benefit.
Horace, I can't thank you enough. So with that, we'll conclude this interview.